So fair warning, this may be a little complicated. So house cleaning out of the way, please give this channel a chance, like and subscribe. Please give my other channels a chance and like and subscribe to them, especially the Kubrick channel. I can't seem to access it now because of YouTube shenanigans, but I will try to put up things when I'm able to access it. So look out for that. Okay, so this may be a little overwhelming for people who are just coming in. I will assume people know the basics that Aaron Smith-Levin is a big YouTuber. He had a friendly relationship with Nora and a few other people like Serge, but it's gotten more and more complicated. And on the other side, Zero Dark Tony was exposing a lot of the corruption of SBTV and Aaron and his friends. And again, you can have many issues with Zero Dark Tony. I have issues with Zero Dark Tony, but a lot of the basic things he was getting at, the corruption, were true. So try to keep up. Zero Dark Tony had a really good research assistant, Dana, or Rotting Jules. Now, Dana, and listen, I used to be a big fan of hers, and there's a small bit of truth of what she's up to, but a lot of gaslighting. So Dana used to work with Zero Dark Tony and did a lot of good research exposing Aaron and the corruption of SBTV. However, she's moving on to the Process Church, Satanism, and other issues. She says she's no longer involved. She just wants Zero Dark Tony to pay her back $10,000 that she loaned to him. And I've always been consistent here that Zero Dark Tony should pay her up. He did give her a little bit of money. He even offered a laptop, which she promptly destroyed, which I thought was not a good idea. But hey, you know, girl power. You go, girl. So now it's gotten way more weird and complicated because Aaron invited Zero Dark Tony. They were actually friends at one point. He also invited DOA, a very troublesome activist. And now everyone's fighting one another. So I'm just going to try to keep it simple. So one of the recent alliances is Kenny. And Kenny is still friendly with DOA. But now he's had a falling out with Rotting Jules / Dana. And he produced a really devastating email because now Dana is kind of revising history, saying, no, guys, I'm independent. I was helping them, but I was independent. I'm not involved in the SBTV drama stuff. No. Even though she is, he's right in the thick of it. But now she's caught red-handed, and Kenny's having some little fun. So this is going to get more weird and complicated. I'm not even going to name the person. But Kenny was on this controversial panel. And apparently they were showing corn, as well as some controversial photos in this panel. And it was so bad, the YouTube channel that was hosting the panel got destroyed. And allegedly, Dana was behind this. Why? I don't know. I don't quite understand all the details. But apparently the channel that was destroyed does affirm, yes, it was Dana. Dana was behind the channel being destroyed. Now, this gets a little alarming because Dana puts herself out as a really First Amendment person. Well, at least she says so because she does a lot of controversial, very radical, extreme research. So you would think she appealed to the First Amendment, but apparently she doesn't really believe in free speech. So, that's very disappointing. And listen, I really was a genuine fan, but more and more Dana is just, she's really declining. So she made the horrific mistake of helping Kenny build up an audience, as did DOA. So I'm not supporting this because Kenny is really getting out there, putting some pretty questionable material on other activists. Now, if you want to be critical, hey, that's fine. I'm very critical, but you'll have to decide yourself if it's crossing the line, but I think it is. It's very out there. Listen, I'm okay with spicy humor, right? It's fine. We're all adults here. However, I think you got to be careful. You got to pick and choose. And it seems like Kenny's really going on a rampage. He's really slandering, insulting a lot of people, Mexican long hair, Becky, and now Rotting Jules, using the C word. And it's YouTube. I have to be careful what the C word means, but the problem is I can't defend Dana too much because, first of all, she uses that kind of language all the time, okay? She uses a lot of graphic language, so being outraged on her behalf doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I'm not saying DOA and Kenny are good people. They're not. They have a lot of victims, a lot of problems. I'm just issuing a challenge for both communities. So I hope DOA confronts the Kenny issue and says something. Probably won't happen, but I hope he does something there. But then we have the other side, the Aaron side and the Dana side, and they are complete hypocrites. There are some moments of agreement. Like everyone, aligned with those people, right? The Rotting Jewels cult, the DOA cult, and yes, the Aaron cult, hate Zero Dark Tony. They really hate him. They want him in prison. They want him put away. But, this may not be a popular take, but compared to all these other people, Zero Dark Tony comes off relatively well. That said, we're going to issue a challenge, and we're going to ask Aaron if he is genuinely critical of DOA and the victims that he supposedly once highlighted, that he takes care of his own house, right? Aaron was caught red-handed by several women. They've come forward, Jenna, Lindsay, and many others, that he is a really terrible person. And his foundation is very questionable, right? And they do have receipts. And beyond that, it's not just him, but his associates like George, Marilyn, and others are trying to pull OSA files and do fair gaming on critics. So, sign of good faith, if Aaron really does care about the victims and wants a principled stance against Zero Dark Tony and, quote, the toxicity, if he really wants to move forward, okay, fine, he wants to denounce DOA and Kenny for victimizing women, which apparently they're doing, okay, that's fine. In fact, you can kill two birds with one stone. Maybe you could have on Rotting Jewels and interview her, and they can go through the receipts of Zero Dark Tony, Kenny, and DOA. But maybe he can do some self-criticism about his own behavior with Jenna, Lindsay, Jerry Armstrong, the McLowrys. It goes on and on. Doug Scott Kramer. There's quite a few victims that we have on the Aaron side. Maybe good faith. Aaron can go through the record honestly and admit he did do a lot of bad things and somehow compensate those victims and offer sincere apology and move forward. Otherwise, it does seem like a war of the cults. The Dana cult hates the Aaron cult hates the DOA cult, but there's no real principle. It is just lesser or greater evil. And I will agree, Dana is still lesser evil. She's not Aaron. Thank God she's not Aaron. She never went full Aaron, that's true, but she is showing more and more signs of Aaronish behavior. I mean, it's really hilarious because she brings this up a lot, that we can judge Tony, Zero Dark Tonus, by his associates. Really? That includes her, by the way, and she admits that's a massive contradiction. Right? She was an associate of Zero Dark Tony. She says, I made a mistake, guys. I made one major mistake in my life. I will always ask forgiveness. Oh, okay. But then you hooked up with DOA and Kenny in Streets LA. Those are three other people. Those are just three other mistakes. They just miraculously happened. And listen, we can make one big mistake, then two big mistakes. It does happen in life. However, this was in the span of 1 to 2 years, right? I'm not defending Zero Dark Tony. He should pay back the money. On the other hand, if her response was, let me create a real big, large propaganda network and my own little cult to harass Zero Dark Tony, is that really what an anti-cultist activist and researcher does? I don't think so. And I get it, Dana was hurt, and that's fine. She wants some revenge. That's very human, but she should be honest about it. Stop pretending she's independent, or I'm just a woman and I'm just a victim. Well, Kenny has victimized several women now. You helped create this monster. You did it. You, Dana, you. Maybe come forward and be more honest about that. Stop whining. Oh, I'm blocking you now, Kenny. I'm blocking you now. Why? He hates Zero Dark Tony. Apparently that's enough for you. You're a good person to Dana. Do you hate Zero Dark Tony? Oh, good. Well, maybe it's more complicated than that. Maybe you should have better criteria for who is an ally/friend. Maybe. Because now Kenny is here. He has an audience and he's going on a rampage. Are you going to help put the genie back in the bottle? Probably not. Aaron, well, I have no hope for him, but hey, we're issuing a challenge. If Aaron really wants to reform himself, okay, reform yourself. Try to be more consistent and honest in your criticism. Please. A challenge to both sides to be better.